Hello, everyone. Happy Thursday. I hope everyone is doing well today. So, I tried to do a podcast on YouTube and to bring Tina on there, and we're trying to figure out how to bring her on there because I can't. So, if anyone on here knows how to bring someone on YouTube on the podcast, please do let me know. I could use your help because we've tried a few different things and it's not working. So, I don't know if it's because she's not on the computer or what is going on, but you should be able to do it from the phone as well, too. So, I'm not sure. And I guess we'll see. Hi, Ron. We'll see who comes on when she comes on here. I will bring her on. I hope everyone is doing well, and I hope you guys are having a great week so far. Anybody up to anything fun this weekend? You can write it in there and let me know. Let's see. There she is. Come on, Tina. Come on, Tina. Come on, Tina. Yeah!
What the heck, girl? You'll
Oh
figure
no!
it out.
Look.
Yeah, that's pretty wicked.
Isn't it cool?
When Jen sees that, she's gonna love it because the elephants have their trunks up, and that means something. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
her mom loves elephants with the trunks up.
Yes.
So, yeah. So how you doing?
I'm doing great. I was hoping to figure out the YouTube thing, but you know what?
Yeah. There's gotta be something. Yeah.
We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, we will. Might take a minute.
Hi, Charles. Great. How you doing?
How you doing?
How you doing? So I think I might have to take my headphones off for the to do the because I don't know if you can hear the music. Let me know.
I can hear it.
Oh, you can?
Wait. Do it again.
It's playing.
Oh, it is? Okay, no, I can't. No, I can't hear it.
My headphones off to do it.
I hear it starts, but then it stops.
Can you hear it now?
Yes.
Is that loud enough?
Yeah, I can't hear it now. Okay, I can hear it.
Can you hear it?
It's faint. It's not as loud as it was last week. Okay.
Is that better?
Yeah.
Okay, let me put it on here. Let me know if you still hear it.
Yeah.
Okay. Is that too loud now?
Nope.
Okay. So I'm gonna do a little energy clearing before we start, and then we'll get started. Okay. So 3 deep breaths in. Count to 5 all the way in. 1, 3, 4, and 5, and hold it at the top for a second. And then breathe out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then 2 more. So we're gonna go again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And breathe out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then breathe in again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold it. And breathe out. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Good. Now keep your eyes closed, or you guys can keep your eyes open however you want to.
Nice. That was relaxing.
Kind of get to clear out that whatever. There we go.
Good?
Yes, ma'am. Can you hear me?
Yes. Loud and clear.
Woohoo! So, I'm gonna have new cards so we could do like different things too.
Okay.
Order
Would
some
you
new
ever do
cards
like
today.
tarot cards or anything like that?
I've never done that.
No.
I've never done that. I don't know. Maybe. Why not? Maybe I'll try it down the road.
Yeah. Yeah. Kind of like pull the cards or whatever, and they mean things. I don't know. But
Yes,
anyway,
they do.
yeah.
Oh, maybe. You know what? Yeah, maybe. I'll have to see a deck that connects, and then
I
it
can
can
see
be
you doing
little messages.
that and like feeling the energy of the cards and you know, and explaining it to people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah. Why not?
Why not?
You look the part. You are the part. Be the part.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
I will do that. I'll have to search and see. Yeah,
Okay.
and do that.
Cool.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's been like, I don't know how it's been over there, but it's been like windy as heck over here. I'm still getting used to sandstorms every single day for the past few days.
Oh, really?
Like,
sandstorm? Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh boy.
It's okay though.
I've
It's still
heard
sunny.
about them.
I'm like, oh, but it's better than Colorado. Colorado's got cold weather going on
Yeah,
right
they
now.
were snowing today, snowing yesterday.
Oh, dang.
Yeah, I was talking to Cooper. He's like, it's snowing today. I was like, or was it yesterday that I talked to him? He said that. Either yesterday or today it was snowing there. And I was like,
Dang.
not here.
I know, right? It's nice.
Yeah.
It's nice.
Yeah, it is.
So, is there anything, like any specific topic you want to talk about?
I don't know. I just feel like there's like super great energy in the atmosphere and the thing today, you know? I just do.
Yes.
Do you?
Yes, that's awesome.
It's
Yeah.
almost like it's
Turn the lights
like
on
good
now.
vibrations today. Good vibes.
Heck yeah.
Yes, like everybody that I'm talking to's got like great news. It's like, damn, that's awesome. Yeah.
I know.
So I wonder.
It is good to hear that.
Huh?
It is good to hear that. And it's also, it's spring is coming. It's technically what, if you go, I mean, it depends what everybody goes by, right? But like, technically with like when it comes to the planets aligned and everything else, it's like everything is shifting. And
Yeah.
not only that, but like if you go by astrology, then it's a new year according to astrology.
Yeah.
So yeah.
A new beginning, a new season, a new
Yes.
like birth. You know?
Yes.
Spring's
Yes.
here. Things are blooming and it's
Yes.
and it's all like happening in people's lives as well, not just in the plants and trees. It's in people's lives. It's like a new it's nice.
It is.
New
And
thoughts, new, dreams, new everything all the way around.
And as long as people like I'm happy with like the way the TikTok, like the videos I'm doing and then the YouTube videos and all of that, because it's like I've gotten more and more messages from like people for like that get motivated by those, which is so awesome.
It is awesome.
So that's the whole point of it, right? So yeah, I'm happy that it helps people to kind of to tap into themselves and ask themselves questions and and grow from it, right? Because that's how we grow.
Yeah, that's it.
It's important.
Mm.
Yes, indeed.
It is. I'm just saying.
Uh-huh.
So, but yeah. Yeah, but what about you? How are you feeling? What's your a little about?
Oh, I'm good. I'm happy.
Yeah.
I'm so yeah, I'm gonna do like I'm gonna be a guest speaker in like yeah, I'll share a couple of details about it,
Okay.
I guess, on here. But I'm gonna be a guest speaker, and I'm gonna have like well over 100 people at this place, and I'm gonna do that in a few weeks. And then also I'm gonna do I'm gonna pick 2 people out of the crowd and do like a Reiki energy healing on their whole body.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, so I'm excited for it, and I'm gonna speak in front of a whole ton of people about my intuitive life coaching and the Reiki. So it's gonna be awesome.
That is awesome.
Yeah!
Yes.
High five!
High five.
Yes!
High five. Oh, wow.
So
Dang.
I was super excited about that.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're just getting out there and doing it, girl.
Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am.
See,
And
everything
then there's
lines
another
up,
thing.
right?
Yeah, there's another thing that's coming up. I'll say that once it happens, because that's yeah, I like to keep
Yeah.
things quiet until they
Right.
until they
Yeah.
happen.
Yeah, I think that's
So
good.
yeah, I'm excited about that.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's coming, it's coming, it's coming.
Hey.
I know.
And what about you guys in the crowds out there? Is it like, have you noticed a positive shift, a positive, yeah, growth? Not like a
Expansion, growth.
thinker, but you know what I'm saying. Yeah, yeah. I got Miss Ellie being in my lap here. She's like really clingy today. It's all good though. I like her close.
She just loves her
She
mama.
loves her mama.
Hmm And you look very nice, by the way. I love that shirt too.
Oh, well, thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you do.
thank you. And you as well. I like
Oh,
it when
thank
your
you, thank
hair's
you.
like that. It's all like,
It's so crazy.
I like it. Yeah, I do like it. I'm going to have to get
Oh,
one of those
shoot.
little band things and kind of,
Dance,
when I work.
make her dance.
Right.
Dance, make her dance.
That's a good thing. That's a good thing. Yeah.
Yes, for when you work and it will keep your hair like out of your face and stuff.
Yeah, because I'm wearing a knitted hat at the moment. So a nice little summer band like that might work,
Yes, ma'am.
right?
Mm-hmm. So, you want to do your cards first? Let's go with a card from you first.
Card for me first.
Bring it.
Bring it. All right, you just tell me when. Da-da-da.
Now.
Shake it up. Did you say yeah to stop?
I said now.
Okay. Top, middle, or bottom?
Let's go with the top.
Okay, it says childhood activities. What activities did you enjoy as a child? And what does this reveal about your inner child?
So when I lived with my grandparents,
Mhm.
what did I like? What activities? Oh my gosh, being outside and just being a daredevil to the max with everything.
I can see that. Yeah.
As I always say, I was like the kid that was like a pretty little dresses, my hair all done, and then I'd go and play in the dirt 2 seconds later. But yeah, I love trying new things, like just doing like literally being a daredevil, anywhere from like climbing in the freaking tree to like putting the dogs and going sled, making them pull the sled so I could go down a giant hill, and literally ended up over like a lake that was like frozen. So like I freaked my grandpa out thinking that I was gonna sink.
You're like, ooh, in the middle of the lake, it's all
Uh-huh.
just sitting there like, what? Yeah.
Literally,
And
it was
no fear in you at all, probably.
Nope, no fear whatsoever. I tried everything I could think of.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's a good childhood. See, I think we were lucky to have childhoods like that compared to children in these days. Don't you?
Yeah, I'm happy I had that, because I think that gave me ultimately what it did is, I think if I wouldn't have had that, I would have let the experience I did with my dad once I moved with my dad, and I was close to 7 when I moved with him.
Um, like 6.5, I think. Yeah. But when like anything after that was I didn't have a, like a childhood. So I think it in a way, like I look back at it and I'm so grateful because I think it gave me that like looking back on it and having like those years where I can remember of just being like free and doing whatever the heck I want, right?
Yeah.
And so I think that played a huge part when it came to also like the hope that things would change, like once I got older. So it very much carried into my adulthood and like the, it brought me back to, it made me reflect like a time when I wasn't, operating out of fear or this or that, right? Which is
Hmm.
huge. So I think that played a huge part when it came to me like doing my shadow work and moving past those childhood traumas type. So yeah,
Mm,
I'm grateful for those memories.
right.
Hmm.
It's nice that you remembered them
Yeah,
and not let the trauma be the only thing you remembered, you know.
yeah. No, and you can't allow it. Like you're always gonna have something at one point in your life though, because we're all gonna have our own little traumas, right? That's just the way human nature is.
Mhm.
And and the thing is though, it's just you when you remember like those moments where you ultimately operate out of no fear, no nothing, and it's just pure just bliss. You got to
Yeah.
remember those. You can't look at just the negative because a lot of people I feel like fall into that. Well, it's the victim mentality, and it's not you're not a victim. You're a survivor of whatever your circumstances are.
Hmm.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, wow. The activity that I enjoyed as a child was, for one, I was like a tomboy and a half, and then for two, it was always animals, and you know what? And here I am working with animals, but I would I would just pick up all the strays off the doggone street and bring mostly cats home, and my God, the next day when I would go to school and I come back, there wouldn't be any cats at the house, and I'd be like, where? And I named them all Mickey. I was just like, where did Mickey go? And then he was like, oh, they found the home, or the little. Needless to say, they were probably taking them to the shelter or whatever. But then I'd go find another one, bring it home. Mickey, Mickey, Mickey. Oh, where did Mickey go? You know? Oh, we found the owner, whatever. But it's like they didn't have the heart to tell me. At least I have to say this, that they let me bring those cats home and spend the night with them, and whatever. And then the way that they broke it to me when I come back home and I was like from school, I'd be like, well, where's Mickey? And they always had some kind of excuse, and they were always good ones, that made me, that for me at that age, I thought, oh, okay, good, it's got a new home. It's like,
Yeah.
yeah. And
That that's awesome.
and I lived in Detroit at the time, and down at the corner was a party store, right? And they had Doberman Pinschers on the premises to as guard dogs. So my best friend was a little old lady down the street, and I would tell her about these dogs. So she would give me like all her food scraps and beef, barrel, bone marrow bones, and all this kind of stuff, right? And then whatever I would have at our house was scrap. I put it all in a bag, and I'd go down the alley, and I'd sit there, and I would be like feeding the dogs through the fence, and they were licking my fingers and all this, and they're
Ah.
fucking guard dogs, like ears and all this stuff. And whenever I would go to the front of the store to like go into the store to buy something or whatever, those dogs would come up to me. It's like a domestic. It's like when they saw me, there was no like, but like a lot of people that would walk by, they'd be like at the gate, And here I come walking by, and they're just like wagging their tails at me. They knew me, but I would do that almost on a daily in the summertime, and it's little things like that, and I just enjoyed that so much. It was like, if I found a loose dog on the street, I'd go house to house to house, try to find its home, and then or somebody would take it in, and that was me as a kid, and I loved it.
You
And
it carried.
yeah, because I work with dogs now. I work with animals. Yeah. So it's kind of like, yeah. So yeah, that's what brought
That's
me
so
joy as
awesome.
a child, and then yeah, still brings me joy, sort of speak in a different way. But yeah, that was it.
It lights you up, which is amazing. Because yeah, you got super happy explaining that. And
I do get happy explaining that. It was like, I don't know. It was just like, yeah.
that's
Yeah.
it matches you. It goes hand in hand with what you do now, how you are with the animals, and just like how you are just in general. You're very pure at heart. So yeah.
I have to say that about you too, because when you're telling your story as when you was a child, and then what your passion is today is to help people, be the best that they can be, and encourage them to, self-reflect and get out of the dark and into the light or whatever. I mean, don't you see the resemblance of how you did that, and now you're doing it in a totally different way? It's kind of the same thing. Isn't that funny? It's not funny, but it's
No, I know
like,
what you mean.
how many
It is
people realize what they do in today's world has some kind of reflection of their childhood raising or whatever.
It has a huge reflection, because I was like the kid that was like, I literally, and I brought animals home. I brought a baby deer once, and I put it in my brother's crib, and I took his bottle and gave it to him, the baby deer, because I found it.
Bambi. Yeah.
I'm that serious. I did. But like, I was always the I was, and that did carry, because it was like, it carried so much into what I'm doing now, because that's who I was truly at heart. And then it got shut down. Like, I didn't see society until I got taken by the state and then moved on my own, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that younger version, like with my grandparents, that's who I am today.
Yeah.
And it's crazy, and it's funny. Well, not fun. You exactly like you said. It's interesting, I should say. That'd be more the correct word. How both of us, like from kids to now, and it's like, ha.
Yeah.
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 It's beautiful.
I don't know if you asked me this question or if I saw it on Facebook. I don't even know where I saw it, but it was a question of what do you think your purpose is? What's your purpose?
It was me. I did a video yesterday on there, remember?
Okay, so it was you. Sorry.
No, you
but anyway, it really got me thinking, like, okay, I feel like I'm doing a bit of but I still also feel like I could do more. So I still think that there's a growth there for me, and for some reason I feel it's kind of subtly aligning. I think it's subtly aligning. So we shall see where it goes forward. But yeah, you asked that question. See, she asks doggone good questions. It gets you thinking, like, are you living your fullest life? And because if you're not, this little girl right there, that little lady can help, like, get you thinking to get on track. I'm telling you, but you got to do the work. But yeah, I just find that interesting when you mentioned it, and then it stuck into my brain. Obviously, it caused a little bit of awareness, but then it also started some kind of, I think, alignment to something else, because it's in here. And you're doing it. You're making people think if they listen. You know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah, because it's always, and by the way, thank you so much. You're freaking amazing. Thank you for your support, your encouragement. And yeah, with those questions, that's that's my whole point behind them, is to trigger the mind. It's to trigger the self-awareness. It's to make you start like looking at yourself and be like, and give you food for thought. But the whole thing is, though, if you ask someone and they don't have somewhat, you have like you're doing, but you can expand. Like, you don't need to when that question gets asked, like, what is the purpose, right? What do you see yourself? What's your goal? What's your vision, right? When you ask somebody, what's your purpose in life? You know, they should have some kind of drive. Like you have your business. That's you've always had, you know, you've worked with dogs, you've worked with animals and things like that. You've always had that. You can expand on it. You don't need to have a full vision of it, but you have to have some kind of goal, because if you don't, what that happens is then you either look at relationships to fulfill that gap, or you seriously follow blindly what everybody tells you, because you have no ground. You're not solid on your feet because you don't know what the heck you're doing. You don't know what you want for yourself. So then all of a sudden, if Tina tells me, okay, well, you know, you should start a dog business. Oh yeah, that's great. And then all of a sudden here comes freaking Liz and she's like, oh no, you should do this. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's great too. Mm-hmm. See, like I'm bouncing from one thing to another. Mm-hmm. There's nothing wrong with like checking things out, because that's how you figure out what fully aligns for you. But right. Deep down inside, you should have a bottom line solid goal of vision, a goal, whatever. Because when you don't have a goal for yourself, you're susceptible to being literally a doormat, and or giving somebody, yeah, it's Millie, or giving somebody you're putting so much responsibility on that person. They're not God. They can't fulfill everything that you need to fulfill for yourself. And it's an unreasonable expectation you're placing on people, places, and things. Mm. That's the whole concept of that. Because you are. If you don't have a goal for yourself, like let's say you have a goal, you know, and do something, all of a sudden you like, and then along the way you discover something else, like, oh, okay, maybe this might align better. That's different. You still ultimately have a damn goal you're going towards.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. Because you never know. There could be something else that you didn't realize that you are passionate about. Mm-hmm. You know, like I'm passionate about gardening. It's like, I whatever, but who thought in a million years that I would tip my toe inside that place and all of a sudden get just engaged in it? You know what I'm saying? But it's not like a career thing, but it's just an example. So when you do, like, if somebody's like, oh, you should whatever, I mean, sometimes I think that's a message from God. That's me. So, you know, tip your toes in it. Just see, mm-hmm. You know, you never know. It could take you off into a whole different avenue.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But it's you didn't have the holding back with it. You're open-minded to try it, right? But there's a big difference between that than the other person being like, you need to do a garden is going to be, and all of a sudden you're doing it the same way as them. That was not your thinking. Your thinking was you're going to try it. You didn't place that was going to fulfill you in a different way. That's where the difference is.
Right.
And that's what people need to understand is there's a huge difference in shifting from you try something, you figure out you like it or you don't like it. There's nothing wrong with that. You tried it.
Right.
But you cannot place your full fulfillment on a person, a place, or a thing. Mm. When you do that, you've lost yourself as a human.
Right. And I've done that. I've done that, and I've caught myself doing it, you know, I mean, the big first time, but then like, you know, like, oh man, what the heck am I doing? I'm about ready to lose myself again.
But you know? See, you catch yourself though. We learn. We all do it at one point to a certain extent or another, right? It could be on a small scale or a big scale. I can guarantee you every single human being has done it at one time or another.
Yeah. That is
you
true.
Know? So
there's something wrong, you know, I'm just going to go a little bit deeper, but there's something a little bit romantic to me about someone losing yourself in someone. Maybe not the person that's getting lost into, but the person losing themselves into. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like there's something romantic about it. It's like you're I don't know. Like I kind of felt like that with Robert. With me is the first time in a very long time I felt that for somebody toward me, and it just felt good. And I know it made, him felt good, but he, like, the little things that he would do was so thoughtful, and just like, if I called him with an issue with my trailer, I mean, he'd be like, your priority. And there was like little situations like that. And I just thought, oh my God, that's so, like, oh my God.
But hold on. There's a difference between losing yourself in someone and making somebody a priority. There's a fine line in between those.
Yeah,
So
you're right.
it depends on the person's definition of losing yourself, because losing yourself, it could be in the concept that you ultimately, you literally do everything that they do, everything they say. They say jump, you say how high. They say jump over a damn bridge. That's losing yourself, in my opinion, because you completely lose who you are as a person. You didn't lose yourself as a person. What you're looking at is you're looking at somebody making you a priority. Huge difference.
Yeah.
See,
Yeah.
see what I mean? There's a big difference.
Yeah. It is nice to feel like somebody's priority when it doesn't happen much in my life. I feel like I make a lot of other people priority more than I'm a priority. And I think that's why I got so connected with Robert as a friend, is that I felt like a priority for a while there, Like, he really cared. Yeah.
Who doesn't want to feel as a priority?
Right. Yeah.
I'm just saying. And the thing is, though, we all make priorities. Like, we all have priorities. Otherwise, we wouldn't be able to, like, even get out of bed.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And so, again, if you connect with someone, absolutely, yeah, you making them a priority. Like I said, my definition is losing myself. I would never lose myself, because then that means I wouldn't know myself. Like, I wouldn't go for anything I want to go for. But yeah.
I get what you're saying, and that makes a lot better sense, actually, than me saying the priority is what I was trying to come across as. But yeah,
I know what you were saying. I
know
what
you
were
know
throwing down.
language.
I know, and people can understand it just fine. I'm sure. I just had to, like, yeah.
No, it's good. It's good. Do you want to pull a card now?
Yes, let's do it. Okay, so I'll shuffle. You pick.
Okay. How about now?
Top or bottom?
Top.
Is this the top?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
What do you miss about yourself? What?
What do I miss about myself?
Okay. Let's be more specific. Go ahead.
You know what? No. My friend Jen was just telling me the other day. She was like, and then she made me think about it, and then I was like, oh my God, and I do kind of miss that about myself. So I'll give you the example. She was like, when we first started talking, we would be on the phone laughing our freaking butts off, like, over everything. We talked about everything, and you were just so, like, free and funny and da la 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 la. And then she's like, and then you took your psychology class, your psychology program, and you became so serious. And she was like, and I kind of, and I told her, and she's like, do you notice that? And I go, yeah, I do notice that. I felt like I turned into an adult a little bit. But the thing is, back then, I didn't deal with a lot of things. Everything was humor. I turned everything into a funny. You know what I'm saying? No matter what it was. If I was hurting, I would turn it into a joke. I'd laugh about it. Blah, 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 right? And then when I was taught how to deal with those emotions, what I was having, like, properly to heal through them, I became a little bit more, like a serious person. And but I still have a little goofiness to me, but I do notice that difference, and I kind of miss that girl, the free spirit. Like, the other thing was, it's like I was a huge free spirit. I wasn't afraid of anything, wasn't afraid to try anything, do anything. But then the voices of of some of the people that I was surrounding myself with would be like, you can't do that. That's dangerous. Or, oh my God, you're going to travel across the country. You're by yourself and all this stuff. And it kind of like put this little tad bit of fear in here over the last several years. And I find myself missing the free-spirited girl where it's just like, yeah, I'm doing it and I'm not thinking about anything. I wasn't thinking about so-called dangers or whatever. I wasn't. And nothing ever happened to me. So I miss that. I do miss that.
So be that. And I remember you and I had a little bit of a conversation about that. And it's the thing is though, you can't let other people like put the fear in you. If you want to do something, you should do it. Don't get me wrong, like you have grown. I mean, yeah, you have grown a lot and since like the first time I met you. But you've also like, and I applaud you for that because you did need to understand yourself because you did use humor for everything to like cope with things, right? And but at the same time, like what happened is you surrounded yourself. This is where we have to be careful of who we surround ourselves with because you got to look at it and recognize it. And now you do though. That's another thing too. And the fact that you even recognize that about yourself, that's your step forward to stop letting people when you hear that and be like, no, that's your choice, that's your life, but this is me. This is what I want to do. This is what I'm going to do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I gotta.
Because a lot of people have restrictions. They have fear. They hold themselves back for one reason or another. You can't allow that to carry into you. That's not your energy. So don't allow it in.
Yeah, I let it in. I let it in, and then I started second guessing things, but it's easy to come back out of. I just got to test the waters, put my foot in, do something, and then do another something, and do another. So, but yeah, and then along the way get, funny with it because I think I've healed from a lot of my wounds, except for I'm still dealing with the one, but that's okay. That's okay. So.
You're doing it. It's a process. It's not an overnight thing, and that's where people need to realize it's not like a damn pill. You see how, like, like take a pill for this, and all of a sudden you're gonna lose weight. Do this, or you're gonna eat like this, and all of a sudden you're gonna do that, or all of a sudden take this pill, and then all of a sudden you feel so much better, and this and that. Yeah, there's some truth to that. There's natural stuff you could take that will change your mood, but the bottom line is things don't fix just like that. You have to put in the work in order to see it.
Yeah.
That's the same thing with like, with healing. People have a misconception that you should just get over things like that quick. No, when you bottle shit up, it builds like a damn volcano, as I always say. And then all of a sudden when you erupt, it's freaking ugly.
Yeah.
Just saying. And people look at it sometimes as like a weakness, but it's actually being emotionally mature is a lot harder than being emotionally immature.
Mm-hmm.
Because because you have to dig into yourself and see everything that you're playing a part of, and you have to hold yourself accountable, and at the same time not bring yourself to like where you hold yourself to like you think you're the worst person on the planet as well. It's a lot of like learning to love yourself, to accept yourself, to change yourself and take those steps. It all starts with small steps, and that's how you create what you want.
Yeah. And I do have to say, I got to stay away from the news and all the, like, I don't watch the news. Like when I was in that state of mind, I never watched anything to do with politics, nothing, right? And every time a negative thought would go in my head, I would cross it out and replay, doing all that kind of stuff to get that. And I got to that point where it was just like, it was great. I didn't know what the fuck was going on in the world. I didn't want to know. And I was living life so good, right? Now, the news has turned on to social media. So no matter where the fuck, I could be on TikTok, anything. When you're scrolling, you see the news. It's like, oh, God. So
but you don't have to watch it.
Algorithms, huh?
You don't. Sorry, I
No,
didn't mean to interrupt you.
I understand, but even like when you're scrolling, you can see, certain things. And yeah, I do. I'm just like, okay, what the fuck is that about? So I got to even stop doing that and change my algorithms and get back on track to being like, you know what? What
Oh, you're
matters is
fine.
when I walk out this front door, what is my reality?
Mm-hmm.
All this stuff on here, I just think it's a bunch of fear mongering on both ends, and I can't handle it.
It is. That's
Yeah.
that's what it's designed is to put fear in people, as I always say. Fear and hope are the two things that will control the masses.
Yeah.
They control people every single time.
Yeah, and I do got to get back to that and really focus. This year I plan on, like I said, I'm getting back to my roots, and hopefully it'll bring up some bring me back to my my original self, so to speak. But what about you? What's your answer to that question?
Oh, snap. What do I miss about myself?
I'm gonna turn you around.
What do I miss about myself? I guess when I was super little, the fact that I had no care in the world, I guess.
Right?
Like when when I was like little and living at my grandparents' house before my dad, I had no worry in the world. So yeah, that would be that. But other than that, I don't miss anything about myself. I'm actually pretty happy. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying I'm perfectly working on myself always.
Right.
That's the way I put it.
Yeah.
But I'm becoming better and better every damn day. So I don't, that's the only thing I would miss is being like, no worry. Ignorance is bliss.
I agree with that.
When you're little, and you're like, yeah, yes. When
Yeah.
When you're like little and you have no damn, like,
No
yeah, it's like,
worries in the world. Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, I guess that would be it.
I bet you that's a lot of people's answer to that question. It's when you feel the free spirit before all the stuff comes in, but it's like, yeah.
It's before the world and everything else molds you, because we are very impressionable, especially like our brain gets molded by the into what our environment is when we're little. So yeah. Zelly Bean.
Hi. Look. He's clean today.
She's so cute.
Yeah. Another one?
Yes, ma'am. Your turn. Shuffle.
We're gonna do the white deck.
Okay. And stop.
Top, bottom, middle?
Middle.
Oh, the middle. We'll pull this one. Ooh, breaking cycles. What negative cycles could be broken by addressing your self-sabotaging behaviors? I'll say it again. What negative cycles could be broken by addressing your self-sabotaging behaviors?
I would say in the past, like cycles I have broken to help sabotage or to stop sabotaging my behavior would be not believing in myself, the fear that I was going to look like a weirdo for the things that I would do. Always like doing, I guess, making sure that, it was like build something what society would consider successful, like company and things like that. So, and I had to break that cycle and define what success was for me, because my version of success was not the same as I was doing at a certain time in my life. No, that wasn't truly success. So I would say fully stepping, into myself, doing my shadow work, balancing out. Like I embrace the darkness and the light. the same way. Like I'm like, because I know I'm gonna grow from it. So if something comes up and I'm like, okay, let's do it.
Yeah.
And so I guess embracing that was one of the being okay with both and literally just, yeah, stepping away from what was successfully like thought by society, I guess, versus what I wanted to, what made me fully feel like I was successful.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And you're doing it.
Mm-hmm. And I'm happy.
You're doing it. What negative cycles could be broken by addressing your self-sabotaging behaviors? Self-sabotaging behaviors. Well, I'm broken, I think, in one specific way, and I sabotage it, I think, but I'm breaking the cycle. I am, slowly but surely, but it is like, I just have the difficulties with relationships. Yeah, but whatever. It is what it is.
You are
Gotta be
breaking it, and now
two-way street. It's got to be.
it does.
It's got to be a
It
two-way
has to.
street. If both people's gonna want it, the cycle breaks when you feel the trigger.
Mm-hmm.
When you feel the trigger, like they're, fear of abandonment or whatever the hell that is, reject, whatever it is. It's like, yeah, here it comes. I'm out. It's like, but.
Well, and I guess another one I had to like, at one point I had to learn how to let people in because I didn't let people in. So that was a cycle I had to break at one point because I was very avoidant, if that makes, and so by doing that, I didn't, and again, a huge part of that is like, I had to trust, like if it's so, I trust myself enough that if it's not right for me, I know that I would walk away from it, and I have plenty of times. But it was that initial like, because for like when I was younger, yeah, I was very avoidant. Like I didn't want to let people in. There'd be like, I'd be so guarded. So I had to break that cycle, because how do you get to know someone, like really, like how do I expect people to actually get to know me and see if they're actually real if I don't let them in? Right?
Right.
So yeah, that was one of the things I broke over the years too.
I kind of did this, probably a couple times where with one of my friends or whatever, I was just like, oh my God, for whatever reason, I feel like running, but I don't want to run. And I talked to him about it, and I told two people that. I was like, oh my God, I don't know why I feel like running, but I'm not going to. And but still the next, still the next level, it just didn't, it just doesn't come.
Yeah, but that's the thing though. That wasn't necessarily what the point of those situations were. What the point was is the fact that you needed to practice to not be avoidant. You needed to learn certain lessons, and guess what? Every single one of those has taught you that you stand behind your morals, your values, your beliefs. And you gave it a try, and you made yourself vulnerable, and it's okay, because guess what? You still fucking here. You're still doing it. I'm just saying.
Right. Yeah.
So you know what? You're still doing it. So look at it from that perspective. You needed to practice, and those were practices.
Right? Yeah. It's all good. It's all good.
So yeah. That's what that was. It was good. And the thing is though, you gotta look at it as like you had good memories with that as well too. So don't only take the bad, take the good with it.
Right. And it just, friendships are still there. Just things just shifted in a different direction, So Yeah.
And sometimes they need to because that's what they're meant to. And it's sometimes not what we want, but it's what we need.
Right.
Rejection is protection.
It is. It is. Okay.
Okay. Oh, my turn. Okay. You got to pick a card.
It is. Okay. Now.
Top or bottom, middle?
What am I feeling there? How about that one that's sticking up in the top?
This one? Was it that
Yeah.
one?
Yeah, that one.
That one?
Yep. I'm feeling that one.
What do I value most now that wasn't the case before? What's changed?
What do I value now?
That wasn't the case before. What's the change or what's changed?
What do I value now?
That you didn't before.
Do you know the answer to that one yet? What do I value now that I didn't before? And what's changed?
Well, I can name a 1,000 things, but I can name one that's really like the most essential one.
What?
Myself.
Explain.
Okay. So I didn't value myself as much before. Like at one point in my life, I didn't see my full value. And what I mean by that is I didn't give myself my full value. That's the responsibility that I needed to do for myself, not somebody else. So when I was younger, like I guess when I was married, when I first got married, so it was, I looked at it, and even though I didn't do it like in a like I was subconsciously doing it, it was how much can I do to, like, I knew I brought a lot to the table. I knew what my values and my morals and what I would stand and not stand for. However, I didn't fully give that to myself because there was a period of time it was just like give, 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 give. And that's what, like, what my value was, is how much I can give. And I didn't stop and think like, wait a minute, what am I, like, once I stopped and looked at the situation, it was like, this is my values, this is my morals, is this what I'm doing? Am I giving myself this, or am I giving it to everybody else? Because I'm draining myself while I'm making everybody else happy. And that's what it was. I needed to learn to value myself.
Oh, that's good. Good answer. Yeah. What do I value what was the question again?
What do I value most now that wasn't the case before, and what's changed?
Why do I struggle with some of these questions? What do I value?
Take your time. There's not a right or wrong
What do I
answer.
value now? It's like my brain don't catch what the question is. I need one question at a time.
What do you value now that you haven't before? Let's simplify it. Just what, and why do you see it different?
It's like my awareness. I think I value that now. Awareness of a lot of things, like am I giving too much? What am I aware of? Even things like, oh, I'm aware that I'm not saying what I'm supposed to say, or that I should be saying, but I'm not saying it. I'm aware of all that. You know what I'm saying? And then, so I like that, because then it gives me a minute to sit with it, and then I catch myself, and I'm just like, okay, why aren't you saying it? And I have those little conversations up in my head, but I should be having the conversation with the person or the whatever situation, working on it. And yeah, so I do value that in me right now. But yeah.
Self-awareness is power more than people realize, because I've said it 1,000 times and I'll say it 1,000 times more. When you're self-aware, you know yourself inside and out, and you can be your authentic self. You stand your ground like a goddamn oak tree that is unshakable. You cannot be swayed and persuaded.
Yeah.
There's a difference. I'm not saying be closed-minded and not keep an open mind to things. What I'm saying is when it boils down to being self-aware, you know where your values are, you know where your morals are, you know what you stand for, what you will not tolerate, you know who you are as a person, you love yourself. And when you love yourself, then you can love other people.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of power to being self-aware. And when you figure out what triggers you, then you take a second, you reflect on it, and like, okay, why did this trigger me? That's power.
Yeah. Yeah. I am like that. And I dig until I reach my answer.
Exactly.
And it's
I do
answer,
too, shoot.
not just any answer, like, oh, because of no. It's a little bit deeper than that. Figure that one out. A little bit deeper. Wow. Next.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so self-awareness is huge. It makes you, it makes you become you, like your true authentic self.
Yeah.
It's power.
I like it.
I
like it. Yeah.
And I think I want to do a topic like one of these days. I keep thinking about it. It's been in my head for like the past couple of days. Like people being avoidant, and I want to do a little bit longer thing on it. But
okay.
Yeah, why are people avoiding, like, not just like emotionally, but there's a lot of people that are avoiding doing intimacy. A lot of people get uncomfortable. They're like, oh, sex. Sex is what most people's concept of sex is, what society teaches you, is procreation, right? What was the thing I said to you? Like, how do I use an example?
What?
So oh my gosh. So what was the example I used? You grab a boob, stick it in. That's most people's idea of what sex is, right? There's so much more to it. People can become avoidant when you don't work. What a lot of people are not aware of is there's so many people that don't even get pleased during intercourse, like females. Why is that? Because they detach emotionally. There's no connection there. And what I mean is by connection, it's not just like there's got to be communication, but it's also in the bedroom, there's got to be connection, because not everything works for everybody, right? And what they do is it's a safety mechanism. So as they're getting that moment, they get, excited and everything else. And all of a sudden it comes down to it. A lot of people are avoidant that way. They shut down their emotions. They disconnect from the person in front of them. And when you do that, then it's going to make you be in a relationship, marriage, or whatever, that there's no passion. And that a lot of times people are afraid to say, well, this is not working for me, or this is not working for me, or, let's do it, like, let's try this, let's do this, or whatever else it may be, and figure out what works for them. And because why? You may offend them and make them feel less than. But this is the thing, though. If you were to be, like, hey, you know what? I that's not really, something that, let's try this. And you suggest something. If that person on the receiving end feels less than, then that's a fucking insecurity within them. Because if that person had enough guts to bring it up to you, in the first place, then you don't need to look at it like, oh, this means that I'm less than, or things like that. That's something you need to work through. Because no, what's that saying is, okay, let's try this. And you have to respect it that way and not take it as a personal attack. And a lot of people take it as a personal attack, and then they're in relationships and there's, where they're not fulfilled.
Are you
And
talking
causes,
sexually?
yeah, intimacy. So it causes that avoidance when it comes down to the bedroom all of a sudden. Because it creates, then the person wants to keep safe. It can be from trauma. It can be from things like that. It could be, so if you have sexual trauma from like younger years, whatever in your life, you're going to most likely carry that with your relationships. And it's going to go from one to another unless you slow down and you stop yourself. Because I've come across quite a few women throughout the years where they're like, I get all, like they're all for it, and all of a sudden it comes down to it, and they absolutely do not enjoy it. It doesn't satisfy them as much as their partners because they detach emotionally. It's a safety mechanism. It puts the body in a, it's like almost too afraid to engage because they want to make sure they don't catch feelings or this or that, or it's an insecurity within themselves. If they had trauma, it's the same way that being avoidant in friendships, relationships, period, outside of the bedroom, it's the same concept almost. But a lot of people are not aware of that.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. I'm one of those avoidants with when it comes to sex, but it's not that I'm detached. I'm seeking some kind of, like, one of the words that you said was safety, security. Like I need to feel safe in somebody else's presence, to give them my body and to, explore different things or whatever. But if I don't feel safe, if I don't feel wanted, and all these different, like, emotions, if I don't feel special, if I don't feel all these kind of things, it's not going to go. It's not going to even happen.
Exactly. And what a lot of people don't realize is, though, you have to create that safety. You have to create that safety, because the person that's avoiding, they're gonna, and they might just not feel safe with you. It doesn't necessarily have to be a trauma. They could be completely fine, but they just don't feel that connection. That's where you have to create that safety. It's not about, there's so much more. It's an art. It's not just procreation like society teaches you. It really is.
Yeah. Oh, that's interesting.
Because if both people are not feeling safe and it's not a safe zone, one's gonna pull away. They're not gonna emotionally be connected.
Could you be in a relationship without sex?
Who, me? Personally? Hell no.
Really?
No. It'll never happen. I'd rather stay single, but if it's the right person, absolutely not. No. Like, I couldn't just have a connection with someone and just be emotional connection. Then you're just my best friend.
Interesting.
I have to have, if I'm with someone, I need to connect with you on a personal level and an emotional level. Like, yeah.
And
it has to be a combination. Yeah, it has to be both.
Yeah.
If not, then I'm good. Then if one's lacking, then no. Because this is the way, if I don't connect with you, like an emotional level, then you're just a tool. That's the way I look at it.
I remember you were saying that before.
Yeah.
Just a tool.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't want a tool.
There's plenty of those.
Yeah. But I just want I guess I just haven't met the right individual to give me what I need to go to that next level. I just, no. But yeah, it would, they would have to work at it.
That's saying. Fine with that.
Yeah. They would have to really prove and just in just ways, because I am a hopeless romantic, and I believe in that certain kind of scenario, that certain kind of, I'm more of a love maker than a, sex person, so what is that?
What do you mean? There's nothing. I mean,
So,
everybody. So
I mean, I hear
go
a lot
ahead.
of people, they don't say making love, they say I want to fuck or have sex.
Because
To
their
me, that is
definition
like,
is a little different.
that wouldn't even come near me. I'm just saying.
But see, it's because you're looking at it in a passionate way, right? They're looking at it as a quick fix. There's no emotional connection. There's no nothing, right? So
Yeah.
again, if you're looking at it from an emotional standpoint, then it is lovemaking, because that's what I'm saying. Like, it should be an art. It should be a way of expressing your love for each other, your connection, your whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it should be something where both parties enjoy. And that's why it's so important for people to be open with what they like, what they don't like, that, be
Right.
open to try different things and see if they like it. Because if you never try something, you never know. Now, I'm not trying to tell people down here to like, yo, go and sleep with everybody. That's not what I'm trying to say. Hold on. So I want to be very clear about that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or like, like have multiple partners or shit like that. That's not what I'm trying to say. But like, explore what works for you guys. You know what I mean? Like different
with your
things where you
partner.
both, where you both feel that connection and it's a passionate thing versus, just like I said, the example I used.
No, we need
a
to
quick in and out.
Yeah, I think we need to talk about this next week. Make that the subject.
Yes,
of the week.
I think so too.
Yeah, I think there's
so.
a lot to be said with that, and in all different areas of it.
Mm-hmm.
You want to do that next week?
I'm down for it. I think it's a topic that people need to like bring up. Not too many people, they get uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And it's a natural thing, because if you think about it, when you're healthy in a like a love making and things like that, it actually helps with aging. It helps with your heart. It helps with so many different things in your body, like your mood, everything else.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've heard that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a really good, deep conversation that we just touch on, and it'll probably take up the whole show.
Probably, because that's a deep one.
So many different, it's going to go into different avenues.
Uh-huh.
I think it's going to be a good one.
Me too. I'm excited.
Okay.
I'm excited.
I am too, because you have good points. You really do. And but yeah, do you have any like positive things to say before we close this?
So I'm gonna do it for people on here too. But earlier I asked the question, and I know a lot of people don't see my other like videos. Please check them out, though. I suggest it. Thank you.
Don't get you thinking.
And thank you for your support on everyone on here. I really appreciate you guys. But think of challenges in your life, one or two, small, big, right? And I want people to take 10 to 15 minutes, tap into yourself fully. And what I mean by that is sit with yourself in pure silence for 10 to 15 minutes. Or you can play a sound bath or something relaxing. No words to it, just a sound. And sit with yourself and ask yourself, how did I overcome those challenges? And see what comes up. And I can guarantee you it's going to be, if you think about it, it's going to show up as you being motivated, you being determined, you taking no for an answer. You refuse to take no for an answer. You pushed through it. You knew what it was. Even if you were scared, you did it scared or whatever the hell it was, and you had faith. You did it, and you moved, and guess what? And you came on the other side of it. Not once, twice, 3 times. It could be 1,000 times. But it makes you realize how empower yourself as a being, because it takes motivation, determination, it takes persistence, it takes you to have faith, it takes you, just like I said, you don't take no for an answer, you freaking keep going, you find that inner strength,
And that's all it is about. Everybody has it inside of them. Every single human being. So you're a fucking badass, whoever does the exercise. You will realize it when you think about it. You are, because if you weren't, you wouldn't have made it through that shit and you wouldn't be here now. So if anyone's going through anything challenging, and everybody's going to go through challenging things at one point or another, just sit with yourself and literally see your inner strength.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, just like you overcame that, you're going to overcome any other fucking thing in your life. That's just as simple as it gets.
Yeah. That's it.
That's it.
But yeah, I do recommend you guys just to listen to some of her short videos on TikTok and all that kind of stuff, because, yeah, they'll make you think, some of the things that she brings up. And, yeah, it got me thinking about my purpose and all that kind of stuff, like I said in the beginning of this live. And, yeah, so do it. Do yourself a favor and check them out. Yeah. And next week, we're talking about sex. Yes. Okay.
Oh, my gosh. And
love it.
One more thing. I challenge everyone to think of one thing about yourself that makes you the greatest. What's the one thing you feel you're the greatest at?
Oh, that's a good one.
And why?
Yeah. That's a good question.
Yep.
I will get back to you next week on that.
Deal.
All right.
Well,
thank
until
you, as always.
Well, thank you as always too. You're so freaking awesome. I appreciate your support, your encouragement, showing up on here, talking to me. We're talking to everybody. Thank you, everybody on here, for your support. I truly appreciate you guys. And yeah, we'll see you guys next week. And Tina, you're amazing. I love you, my
Girl,
friend.
I call her Muscle Girl, everybody. You are amazing.
Thank you.
Mwah. Talk to you next
Bye-bye.
week.
Peace.
Okay. Bye.